Hello and welcome to the show. Today we're tuning into a sound that's been part of the UK's healthcare landscape for almost a century, yet often goes unnoticed. Hospital radio. Run by dedicated volunteers, these stations broadcast directly to patients, offering comfort, company, and a connection to the outside world. But in an age of smartphones and streaming, is there still a place for hospital radio? Its history is rich, its present is challenging, and its future is uncertain. Let's explore the story of hospital radio in the UK, its rise, its struggles, and its enduring human touch. The story begins back in 1925 at York County Hospital. Imagine headphones beside 200 beds, loudspeakers carrying sports commentaries and church services into the wards. The goal from the start was simple: make the patient experience better, offer a distraction, a connection. Growth was slow at first, interrupted by war, but the 1950s saw a boom. By the 1980s, hospital radio reached its peak, with estimates suggesting up to 300, maybe even 350 stations broadcasting across the UK. This was a time when bedside units were the main way to listen, providing a captive audience. It also became an unlikely training ground for future stars. Names like Ken Bruce, Simon Mayo, and Scott Mills all started their careers taking requests on the wards. But that peak didn't last. From the late 80s onwards, things began to change. The NHS itself was restructuring. Smaller hospitals closed or merged into larger centres. If a hospital closed, its radio station often went with it, or stations were forced to merge, like Bedrock Radio, formed from two predecessors. Today, the number of stations is significantly lower. Estimates range around 160 to just over 200. It's a story of contraction, driven by changes in healthcare, and as we'll see, technology and resources. So, what are the headwinds facing hospital radio today? The challenges are significant and also interconnected. Firstly, there's the constant battle for funding. Almost all hospital radio stations are independent charities run entirely by volunteers. They typically get no core funding from the NHS. Every penny for equipment, music licenses, insurance, and maybe even rent has to be raised through things like sponsored events, bucket collections, and donations. Annual budgets can be tiny, sometimes just a few £1,000s, or even less. This makes long-term planning incredibly difficult. Then there are the volunteers themselves, the absolute lifeblood of these stations. Thousands give their time across the UK, but finding and keeping them isn't easy. Stations struggle to recruit people, especially those with vital technical skills needed to maintain equipment or embrace digital tech. With anyone able to create content online now, the pool of potential volunteers might be shrinking, and burnout is a real risk. It's not just presenting shows, it's fundraising, admin, and crucially, visiting patients on the wards. And perhaps the biggest disruptor? Technology. Patients now arrive with smartphones, tablets, laptops, a universe of entertainment in their pocket. Spotify, Netflix, personal music libraries, hospital radio faces intense competition for attention. The traditional bedside units are also disappearing or becoming unreliable in many hospitals, cutting off a key way stations reached listeners. Stations are adapting. Many now stream online, have mobile apps, and some are exploring digital radio like DAB. But this adaptation costs money and requires technical know-how, circling back to those funding and volunteer challenges. Added in the pressure on NHS trusts for space, stations need studios, often negotiating for rooms within busy hospitals, and you see a complex web of difficulties. Despite all this, hospital radio endures. Why? Because it offers something technology alone can't replicate: the human touch. Volunteers are often seen as a friend outside visiting hours. In the HBA's 2016 impact study, patients reported that hospital radio helped reduce loneliness and anxiety. This became incredibly clear during the COVID-19 pandemic. With visitors banned, hospital radio provided a vital human connection for isolated patients. Some hospitals specifically asked their stations to keep broadcasting, recognizing their value. A key difference is that volunteers often visit the wards, chatting with patients, taking requests. It's a personal interaction, making patients feel like individuals, not just occupants of a bed. Hearing a favorite song, perhaps with a dedication, can be incredibly powerful. The HBA study identified several key benefits: reducing boredom through entertainment, easing loneliness via social interaction, providing a calming presence, creating a sense of belonging by connecting patients to the local community, and making people feel like individuals. It's about more than just music. It's about psychosocial well-being. So, what does the future hold? Hospital radio is clearly at a crossroads, facing decline, but also showing remarkable resilience. Survival likely depends on continued adaptation. Embracing digital is key. Robust streaming, apps, maybe DAB, to reach patients on their own devices. But they also need to maintain that unique hyper-local connection within the hospital itself. Building stronger partnerships with NHS trusts seems vital, perhaps by aligning more closely with health and well-being initiatives, moving beyond pure entertainment to become a broader health information resource. Some stations are already rebranding as health and well-being broadcasters, reaching out patients and the wider community. Strategic volunteer management, finding the right skills, and keeping people engaged is crucial. And the Hospital Broadcasting Association continues to play a vital role, advocating for the sector and providing support. Hospital radio in the UK is a testament to the power of voluntary effort and the enduring need for human connection, especially during vulnerable times. While the challenges of funding, technology, and a changing healthcare landscape are immense, its unique ability to offer companionship and a personal touch gives it a value that algorithms and playlists struggle to match. Its future isn't guaranteed, but with strategic adaptation, continued dedication from its volunteers, and recognition of its worth, this quiet soundscape of care might just continue to broadcast comfort for years to come.